Greetings, redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Red's View. Of course, I am your gracious host, the one and only J Red. Thank you, everybody, for tapping in. Before we begin, do me a favor. First things first, hit that subscribe button. We're just a few subs away from 3,000. We are a few subs away from 3,000. So make sure if you're watching this video for the first time, if you're a return viewer, make sure if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the like button or the dislike button. It is all good as long as we get some traction. Once you hit that like button or the dislike button and then leave comments and stuff, it gets more traction and we get out there. So my Reds View fam, make sure that you do that. Also share this. If you're going to be on Facebook right now, share this. Shout out to my chat. The chat is always popping. Get your voices heard. I'm going to make sure that I try to tap in with everybody as much as I can. It's always fun. And I like the engagement and interaction with everybody. So make sure that you join in on the discussion. First off, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I got my green on so I don't get pinched. But yeah, I know it's strange. I'm going live on a Monday, but hey, it's a lot of hot topics that I wanted to get off my chest, and I didn't want to wait till tomorrow. So I just wanted to go ahead and talk about some of the hottest topics, y'all. So, man, let's go ahead and dive into it. Again, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, hit the share button, hit the like button. It is all good. And again, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Hopefully, everybody has a great start on this Monday evening. But it's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. So let's go dive into the first thing that we're going to talk about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the very first thing we're talking about tonight. UMG, this is Drake. Drake is getting dissed. Wait a minute. Hold on. Drake is getting dissed by his own record label. Aubrey Graham, Drake is getting dissed by his own record label. Now, what are you talking about, J Red? Well, if you're looking at the title of this, it's asking the question like, he's really getting dissed. He's getting dissed by Universal Music Group. So if you've been hiding under a rock, you know Drake has done this lawsuit. Drake has really amplified this whole Kendrick wave, the dot era, as Elliot Wilson calls it. Drake has really like amplified that because of his tactics, including this silly lawsuit. I feel like it's silly. You know, a lot of people feel like, well, his fans rather feel like he's being a martyr and he's trying to stick up for the artists and all this other stuff. But I feel like it's a waste of time, and so does Universal Music Group. So let's look at what's going on in the news right now. Where are we at? So let's look at, shout out to Vibe magazine or vibe.com. So let's look at this. So it says that Drake is just bitter over losing rap battle to Kendrick. UMG claims an attempt to dismiss the lawsuit. So Universal Music Group is trying to dismiss this lawsuit. All right. They said he has sued his own record label in misguided attempt to salve his wounds. All right. So an attorneys for UMG filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit this Monday morning, calling Drake's allegations meritless and stressing that public embarrassment is the real reason he chose to sue the conglomerate, which I agree. So plaintiff, one of the most successful this was actually in one of the documents. It said one of the most successful recording artists of all time lost a rap battle. He lost this rap battle that he provoked, in which he willingly participated. Instead of accepting the loss, let me make sure I highlight this because this was everywhere. All right. It said instead of accepting the loss, like the unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, he has sued his own record label in a misguided attempt to salve his wounds. Instead of accepting the loss like the unbothered rap artist he claims to be, he has sued his own record label. That's a bar. That is a bar. First off, let me just say this. That's a bar. Now, I'm not pro UMG. I'm not pro record label, but I am pro hip hop. And Drake isn't keeping it hip hop. Drake ain't keeping it rap battle. When you do stuff like that, like this, suing over losing a rap battle, it's a slippery slope. And for all the people, all the Drake stands that are trying to justify it, saying that he was trying to get $600 million when he just got $350 million, he was trying to up the ante, get more money and all this. That is all he say, she say. It's not proven that he was trying to up his money. Okay. That's just what I personally feel, is that the Drake stands and all the Aubrey's Angels tried to do to make themselves feel better and to not make him look bad. But anyway, let me go back and continue reading this. So UMG went on to argue that Drake issued his statements towards incendiary statements towards Kendrick during the battle, including accusations that he is physically abusive to partner Whitney Alford, and that his business partner, Dave Free, may be the father of one of K. Dot's children. However, Drake's hyperbolic insults and vitriolic, I don't know why I'm stumbling on my words today, vitriolic allegations simply didn't engage the public like Kendrick's did. That's a bar. That is a bar, okay? Drake has been pleased to use UMG's Universal Music Group's platform to promote tracks leveling similarly incendiary. What am I? I'm tripping with these words today. Incendiary attacks at Lamar, the company's attorneys wrote. But now, after losing the rap battle, Drake claims that Not Like Us is defamatory. It is not. The label goes on to say that both Drake and Kendrick's disses are shielded from defamation lawsuits thanks to free speech guaranteed by the First Amendment, and that over-the-top allegations like calling Drake a PDF file are common when it comes to hip-hop diss records. So it says this, it says diss tracks are a popular and celebrated art form centered around outrageous insults, and they will be severely chilled if Drake's suit were permitted to proceed. Bar. Let me read that again. Diss tracks are a popular and celebrated art form centered around outrageous insults, and they will be severely chilled if Drake's suit were permitted to proceed. So that's basically saying, ladies and gentlemen, if this lawsuit goes through and if Drake wins or whatever, that's going to mess up the whole rap game. It goes against freedom of speech, something that he was standing in solidarity with Young Thug for. You know how Young Thug was locked up because they were trying to use his speech against him. And shout out to BG from Cash Money. He actually just put out an album called Free Speech, but it goes against the freedom of speech. So if Drake is standing in solidarity with Young Thug, he looks silly trying to sue UMG over lyrics. Now, to play devil's advocate, I know he's being called a PDF file. I get it 110%. However, he instigated this. They even talked about like the tailor-made stuff. Let me go back. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading because it was quite a few documents up in here. It says, as Drake recognized when it comes to rap, the final work is a product of the artist's vision and imagination. The complaints, unjustified claims against UMG are no more than Drake's attempt to save face for his unsuccessful rap battle with Lamar. The court should grant UMG's motion and dismiss the complaint with prejudice. Okay. All right. So Drake's attorney actually responded to this. Okay. Michael Gottlieb, I guess that's his name. So this is what Drake's attorney said. He said UMG wants to pretend that this is about a rap battle in order to distract its shareholders, artists, and the public from a simple truth. A greedy company is finally being held responsible for profiting from dangerous misinformation that has already resulted in multiple acts of violence. This motion is a desperate ploy by UMG to avoid accountability, but we have every confidence that this case will proceed and will continue to uncover UMG's long history of endangering and abusing its artists. Okay. All right, man. So UMG is bucking at Drake. UMG is bucking at Drake. They're calling him a sore loser. They're saying, man, because you lost this rap battle, you used our platform. You put out diss records. You made tailor-made freestyle. You put out these diss records talking about Kendrick Lamar. But it's because Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us record was the better record and it's popular and you don't know how to handle it. Okay. So my thing is this. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Did UMG use any bots or did they give any extra promo for Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us record to be as big as it is today? More than likely, yeah. I don't think they did initially. Okay. I think what they did was they set back, watch the battle, see who was getting the most traction. Not Like Us was the only hit record from that. I mean, Euphoria, there was a popular record. I'm not gonna call it a hit record, but Not Like Us was the hit record. So if it's a hit record, DJs are already playing it. Why not put our marketing dollars in it, use our bots or whatever the case may be to increase it to make more money? Okay. I do think that they pushed the record, but after it dropped, it was destined to be a hit anyway. It was destined. I mean, it was a hit. When I first heard that, I said, "Oh boy, this will go hard in the summertime." But anyway, so UMG is going at Drake saying, buddy, you are a sore loser. You used our platform, you used us, but since the system isn't working in your favor, now you want to cry foul, call bluff. Some people said, I mean, it's more things because like it's plenty pages, but a lot of people are calling this UMG lawsuit or motion to dismiss the lawsuit. They're calling it a diss record. They're going through and just getting at Drake. They're talking about you being pretty much, without saying so, like a sore loser, but just so many bars they're dropping. It makes a lot of sense, and it shows that they have their ear to the streets, and they're reading people's tweets. They're reading the media, listening to podcasts like ResView. They're doing all this and naming it in the lawsuit. They're like, yeah, man, if this goes through, it's gonna affect the whole industry. Because if I'm in a rap battle now, you can sue me directly now. I know he's not suing Kendrick directly, but if I'm in a rap battle and I'm talking about your mama, you could say, well, that caused defamation and that made my mom move out of Canada and all this other stuff. And it's like that. I thought we were supposed to say the most foul things about each other in a rap battle. I don't want this case to go through. Okay. Now, if Drake was suing them because of money, strictly because of money, and they didn't pay him or whatever, then I'd be on Drake's side. But we clearly know what this is, and it's all Drake's fault. It's all Drake's fault. But it's funny to see UMG diss him. They said that this is their euphoria. Like the way that they're dissing this man, saying, basically like, you're a crybaby. It didn't work in your favor, and we need to try to dismiss this case. Now, I want to know in the comments, if you're in the chat right now, do you think that the judge is going to dismiss this case? Because the thing is, it's like, okay, Drake he wanted, who was that, Spotify, to present evidence or details that they use bots or something like that. I forgot. There's so many layers to this. I know it was iHeartMedia. So the thing is, it's like, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money, taxpayers' dollars, and all this other stuff, because you got to get a jury, you got to do all of this with this lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just too much. It's too much, and why waste time and money on this? This is an artist that is saying, y'all used the song to defame me and make me look bad and all this other stuff. But at the same time, you said some foul stuff about Kendrick Lamar's fiance. You said some foul stuff that could have caused harm to his children, saying a lie that Dave Free is their child. Now, him being a pet PDF file, is that a lie? I mean, the only thing that I can go by is Drake kissing that 17-year-old girl on stage. It don't matter how people, I had some ignorant person on Twitter last week go back and forth with me to try to make it not look like it was that bad. Drake is on stage. This was years ago when he was first blown up. He was on stage. He asked that 17-year-old, how old are you? She said 17. Now, it's rumors floating around that she was about to turn 18 in a few hours. And also the state that they were in, the legal age of consent was like 16 or 17 or something like that. And I'm like this. Do you think that Drake knew that? He didn't know that. She told him how old she was, and he proceeded to kiss on her. Now, also in this UMG lawsuit, it was funny. Like they're talking about his relationship with Millie Bobby Brown, and they're basically alluding to the fact that the public already knew about these PDF file grooming girls allegations beforehand. This isn't on UMG. So these rumors And these accusations were already out there. Now nobody took any legal action, but I mean, Drake, you got a video of Millie Bobby Brown in an interview saying that you and her text, and I think she was like 12 or 13 or whatever, and the interview was like, so you talked to Drake? Yeah, I talked to him, we text each other. And it's like, why are you texting this person? Why are you texting a 12 or 13-year-old girl about what? Y'all not family members. I can see if that was your niece or your little cousin, your little sister or something like that. But Millie Bobby Brown, like during that time, now she's grown now, I believe, right? But UMG is basically saying, man, look, bro, these allegations and all this other stuff was out before us. Kendrick Lamar decided to attack that. It happened to be a hit song. We can't help it. And then it blew up. So Drake, in my opinion, is fighting a losing battle, but I think this is all his fault. At the end of the day, no matter how you look at it. See, this is the thing, man. Now, Kendrick did do the Super Bowl. I said this on one of my last episodes. I said, if Drake wouldn't have did this lawsuit, his Super Bowl performance would be talked about. It would be big, right? But he fueled Not Like Us. Are y'all aware that Not Like Us is still in the top 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts? Not Like Us came out last year, and it's about to be a year since it came out. It's about to be a year since this battle. Actually, March is when the battle started with Like That. With Like That, remember when Like That with Kendrick Lamar, Future, Metro Boomin? That came out this time last year, and it struck up everything. Not Like Us is still on the top of the charts over Drake's Nokia, over Drake's any songs that he has from Some Sexy Songs for You. Not Like Us is over that. And that came out last year. But it's all because Drake has been continuing to fuel the beef. See, if Drake were to just forget it, not even say take a break, okay? Because the average person to say Drake needs to take a break, he needs to let this ride. Let's say no. Drake should have just not given this battle that much attention. Notice what UMG Records said. Notice what they said. He's supposed to be unbothered, right? Unbothered. This doesn't faze me. I'm still the GOAT. I'm a king. Da, 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 da. If it isn't bothering you and you're unbothered, why are you filing a lawsuit? For the fans that say that Drake didn't lose the battle, why is he filing the lawsuit? Why does he have this lawsuit going on? Because an unbothered person would just be like, oh, small things to a giant. I'm going to still make these records and still smash Kendrick and all this other stuff, right? That's not the case. That is not the case, ladies and gentlemen. The man put the lawsuit out, and he won't sit down and be quiet about it. At your concert, you're addressing people who turn their back on you, walking out of the crowd with bullet holes and the smoke coming out the bullet holes and all that other stuff. You posting memes and on your Finsta account, your plot twist and whatever. You doing all this stuff. You're giving more fuel to it. The reason that Kendrick Lamar, one of the reasons, I ain't saying all the reasons because he's talented, but one of the reasons Kendrick Lamar is so up right now is because Drake is showing that he was defeated. And all the fans can do is just be like, man, no, that's not true. He wasn't really defeated. Da, 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 da. Man, it's making it look worse. See, I want you to pay attention to what Kendrick has done strategically. All Kendrick has done is drop music, maybe do an interview, one or two, and then perform at the Super Bowl. That's it. No memes, no being on the internet, no subliminals, all that stuff. Well, he did do a couple of subliminals on GNX, right? But I mean, he's supposed to do that because he's the victor. If I win the rap battle, I'm going on my victory lap. The person who lost, if you're larger than me, keep making records. But Drake wants to fuel this. Now you got your own record label dissing you in a lawsuit. Well, not a lawsuit, but a motion to dismiss the lawsuit. So I blame Drake for this. Drake, sit your ass down. Let it go. Continue to make your music. You still got a couple of hits. You know what I'm saying? He got Nokia. That's going off. Give Me a Hug. People are playing that. Continue to make music. Nobody said your career is over. Now, I don't think it's to where it was, and I don't think it'll continue to be to where it was, but I do think that you still can be considerably successful in your endeavors, but you can't keep adding fuel to this because when you talk about LeBron or address LeBron, and you address any of them, who's the other NBA player? DeRozan, DeMar DeRozan, when you talk about him, when you talk about my friends turn their back on me, people in the industry, anything that you do, when you address that, you are adding fuel to the beef. And if the fans wanted to stop, quit tweeting about it. Anything Kendrick Lamar does, y'all want to tweet about it. But anyway, let's move into something else. Speaking of Kendrick Lamar, I have a question. Is Kanye West is Kanye jealous of Kendrick? Is Kanye jealous of Kendrick? Is he showing signs of jealousy when it comes to Kendrick Lamar? Now, what are you talking about, J Red? Okay. I saw this tweet, and I'm sure the whole world, y'all have seen this as well. Let me show you what Kanye West had to say about Kendrick Lamar appearing on Playboi Carti's latest album. So if you go right here, Kanye Ye, which his legal name is now, says he doesn't like Kendrick Lamar's music. I didn't need to hear him on Carti album. All right. So he says, I don't like Kendrick Lamar's. That's what he said. I don't like Kendrick Lamar's music. He raps very good, but I didn't need to hear him on Carti album. So you're saying I don't like Kendrick Lamar's music. I didn't even realize he said he don't like his music. He raps very good, but I didn't need to hear him on Carti's album. Okay. Now, your opinion could be that Kendrick Lamar appearing on a Playboi Carti album doesn't sound good. That's up to your opinion. But to say that you don't like his music after being all on his nuts from last year is insane. It's nasty work, as the young folks say. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Shout out to KJ Anderson. You said, I hope Drake's UMG lawsuits and Drake's record label industry will join the Trump 2025 plan and Project 2020 for BET. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah, back to Kanye. So the thing is, for him to just say he doesn't like Kendrick Lamar's music after riding his nuts from last year is nasty work. We've seen it in real time. He tried to, this is what it's about. And I didn't notice this until recently. Kanye, for the last year, has been trying to insert himself in the beef with Kendrick versus Drake. Do you remember when Kanye made a remix to Future's Like That? You remember he made a remix to Like That and was talking about, hey, Dot, I got you. Yo, Dot, I got you. He made a remix that nobody asked him for. And I remember when it came out, I was like, oh, Kanye is teaming up with Kendrick and stuff and Future and everybody too. But I found out that it wasn't true. It was just something that Kanye did. So he put out that record. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Remember in the interviews, he said something like, I'm down for the elimination of Drake. And nobody cared. Kendrick was doing his thing. Drake was taking shots at Kendrick, whatever the case may be. Kanye has been trying to insert himself in this Kendrick Lamar versus Drake thing. And I think that this comes from Kanye years of bashing Drake. Just last year, he was talking ish about Drake. You know, dissing Drake. Hell, he was talking about Diddy, but now he's friends with Diddy. What Kanye likes to do is get with the people that everybody's against. I want you to study what Kanye does. He usually gets with people that everybody's against. He was calling Puffy a Fed just last year. Now, all of a sudden, he's putting out music with Puffy, collaborating with Puffy while he's behind bars. Now he's all of a sudden wanted to favor Drake. Where was all this favoritism towards Drake just last year? You were down with the elimination of Drake, Kanye. But the reality is Kanye has been jealous of Kendrick because he wanted to be the one to do what Kendrick did to Drake. He wanted to be the one that beat Drake in a battle. He wanted to be the one that embarrassed Drake, that ethered Drake, that took Drake out. Kanye wanted to be the one who took Drake out. He wants Kendrick's position. And I didn't even realize this until pretty much Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne the God even pointed that out. Charlemagne the God was saying pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing him, that he's jealous of the attention that Kendrick was getting. Because if you remember the Grammy Awards and all this other stuff, you remember when Kendrick that week leading into the Super Bowl, which Kanye never performed at the Super Bowl. He got all these Grammys for Not Like Us and was breaking records and all this other stuff. And what was Kanye doing? Wearing swastika shirts. What was he doing? Dissing Jews. What was he doing? Just saying, just doing, making noise, and nobody was paying attention. Going on this tirade on Twitter, just talking, saying the most foul things he could say to get attention. He tried to make Kendrick's moment be his moment. And I didn't realize that until Charlemagne had pointed that out. He said he just wants Kendrick's attention. So for him to come out and just say, I don't like Kendrick Lamar's music out of nowhere, when you said just recently that Kendrick is one of the best artists of this time. So now all of a sudden you don't like his music. That's jealousy. And Kanye showed his true colors when he said that he doesn't like Kendrick Lamar's music. So I found that, like, once he said that, I was like, oh, okay, Charlemagne was right. He told me everything that I need to hear. But nobody cared. Nobody cared about Kanye trying to make this rap battle about him. He tried to join in on it. Like Rick Ross made a diss track and all that, but Kanye tried to insert himself into this battle, and nobody cared. But like I said, Kanye wanted to be the one to take Drake out. And what Kanye's doing, because the industry is quote unquote against him, he's the odd man out, and he sees that the industry quote unquote turned their back on Drake. So now it's Drake is a good artist. Drake is like Michael Jackson. Drake is this. So you want to be on Drake's nuts. And I hope Drake just be like, nah, stay over there. Stay over there. You're the reason why Pusha T got the info that I had a son that I didn't want to announce at the time, and you ruined my life with that. So nah, Kanye, man, and I don't call it crazy, because that's a scapegoat. That's an easy excuse to give somebody that knows what they're doing. Oh, he's crazy, he's off his meds, whatever. No, this is just simply jealousy and it's attention. Now, like I said before, Kanye can have an opinion. If he just said, I don't like to hear, I didn't like Kendrick's features on Playboi Carti's album. Sonically, it didn't sound well. Kendrick didn't sound like he was in his element. Hey, that's cool. That's cool. But to just straight up say, I don't like Kendrick Lamar's music, that's so cap. Super cap. So the jealousy is real. The hate is real. The hate is real. So I hope Kanye, I really don't even know what to say about Kanye at this point. Let me read this other comment, KJ. You said, and I really wish that Hip Hop Beefs 2025 will join the Trump 2025 plan. Okay. You want to join the Trump 2025 plan. Okay. All right, KJ Anderson. But anyway, yeah, so that's Kanye, man. Let's move on and talk about Kendrick. Speaking of Kendrick, ever since he appeared on the Playboi Carti album, how many people heard the Playboi Carti album? It's on pace to do 250K the first week. It's supposed to debut at #1. But the narrative that I've been seeing floating around is Kendrick Lamar's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. Now, why is he a hypocrite after appearing on Playboi Carti? Why is he a hypocrite on being on Playboi Carti's album? And I hope early I didn't say Party Next Door. I get them mixed up. Well, because they're saying that Playboi Carti is an abuser. Let me tell you this. I don't know anything about Playboi Carti. I just found out that he was from Atlanta. I'm just finding out what he actually looks like. Now, I know who he is, and I know he used to date Iggy Azalea or something like that, but I personally don't listen to him. His music just ain't for me, right? I didn't even try to listen to the album. I just heard the songs that Kendrick was on, and still, the music ain't for me, but I did enjoy Kendrick's verse on Good Credit. That song goes hard. So I love that. Kendrick was doing ad-libs on another song. I forgot which one it is, because him and SZA are on there, and it's another track that he's just doing the hook on. I forgot. But anyway, nonetheless, Kendrick's features were solid, right? But people are saying that Kendrick is being a hypocrite. I saw some videos and tweets and everything floating around. Like, he claimed that Drake is this PDF file and runs around with predators and all this other stuff. And Playboi Carti is that. So he's a hypocrite. Let me tell y'all this, man. This ain't nothing but Drake stands trying to create a narrative to shit on Kendrick. That's all. This is the truth. This is the God honest truth. Y'all don't want Kendrick in the position that he's in right now. Kendrick is glowing. Kendrick is number one and replaced Drake and is in the number one position. He's dominating the charts. He's dominating sales. He's dominating everything. But y'all can't handle it. And when I'm saying y'all, I'm talking about the OV hoes and the Drake stands or just the Drake fans. Y'all not used to seeing Aubrey in this position where somebody else is number one, more successful, more awards, more notoriety, more than he is. It's just the facts. Get over it. You're coming. I see on Twitter, because I look on Twitter every day, and they talk about Kendrick and Drake all the time. And I'm fully aware that they're going to be synonymous with each other. Like if one person puts out something, the other person puts out something, and they're going to be compared, right? But here are the facts. Here are the facts. Party Next Door and Drake put out an album about a month ago. It's sold pretty considerably well. It hasn't sold more than Kendrick Lamar's GNX. GNX is still outselling. That album came out in November, but right before Thanksgiving, and it is still outselling an album that came out a few weeks ago. His songs that came out last year is still outpacing Drake's songs that he put out this year. Kendrick Lamar is global. You're seeing Not Like Us have a resurgence because it's a TikTok trend, and you got people from Catholic popes to churches and nursing homes creating, hey, yo, I'm slipping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the raps like mustard on the beat. Like everybody's doing that Kendrick Lamar dance, right? Kendrick has resonated with children. I'm just going based off of facts of what you see. That Super Bowl performance enhanced everything. And it's something that Aubrey's Angels, OV Hoes, Drake stands cannot take internally. So what they do is every day they try to find something wrong with Kendrick. I saw somebody say something like, oh, this is Kendrick fatigue right now going on. No, people are not tired of Kendrick. Squabble Up is a hit. Most of the songs from GNX are hits. Y'all are just not able to process that this man from Compton is able to be bigger than what Drake is currently. Now, has Drake sold more records? Does he have more hit music than Kendrick? Absolutely. But that's back then. What have you done for me lately? And the stuff that Drake is doing lately isn't gonna be on the same level as Kendrick. It's the facts. It is what it is. Drake has reached his peak years ago. This is Kendrick's peak. It's just what it is. Yes, and it's due to the rap battle. They were two of the biggest rappers in the game. Somebody had to win, and whoever won was going to go on a victory lap. Y'all wouldn't be calling Drake a hypocrite and all this other stuff if he won the battle, but you can't handle it. Leave it alone. Drop it. He asked for this. He got it. It is what it is. So this whole thing, Kendrick is a hypocrite. Kendrick is just making music. He's making hit music. See, y'all don't be wanting to take stuff so literal when it comes to Drake, but anything Kendrick does, y'all are a fly on the wall trying to see anything remotely close to him falling off or him being criticized or whatever. Y'all want Kendrick to not be able to succeed. And then the fact that he's outperforming Drake, what are you going to do? You're going to say UMG is propping him up. You're going to say he's using bots. But my counter argument to that is, so you think Drake isn't using bots? You think that Drake never did use bots? How about Kendrick won the battle and is making better music than Drake right now? It is what it is. If it weren't the case, where was Drake's hits last year? I want you to realize this. Drake is just now getting hit records. Nothing last year was a hit record from Drake. I'm a DJ. I can tell you that. Now, Nokia, that is a hit record. Give Me a Hug, I ain't going to call it a hit, but it's a popular record. But compare that to what Kendrick has got going on, and come on. So, no, Kendrick ain't being no hypocrite. I feel like y'all looking at it too literal, and you're just upset that Kendrick is winning. It is what it is. But shout out to everybody who is watching. Let me know in the comment section if you're here. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ResView. We're cooking with grease today. All right, so let me move on and talk about something else. Let's talk about Anthony Mackie. So Anthony Mackie speaks on the death of masculinity. Anthony Mackie speaks on the death of masculinity in America. Now, in case you've been hiding under a rock, he's been getting, I'm not even gonna say bashed. I guess you could say bashed, right? Or criticized for what he said about raising his young black boys. He wants to raise them to be men. Okay. So I hope I don't get a strike against this. This is from the Pivot Podcast. Shout out to the Pivot Podcast. This is fair use. I want to play what Anthony Mackie said about his him raising his boys. This is very significant and it's getting a lot of attention, but I feel like it's profound and it's something that needs to be shared. And I just want to be the vessel that spreads it. All right. So listen to this. Fair use, by the way, fair use. Shout out to the Pivot Podcast.
I keep my boys humble. Like my boys have never had a pair of Jordans. You know, my boys don't do all that internet fly shit. I'm like your kids. And no, I don't give a, I could be the biggest star in the world. Do not let me catch you being stupid.
Okay. And I'm watching this to try to see what's the negativity in it. I haven't heard anything negative yet. Let's keep listening.
Mm-hmm. Do not. And my oldest gets it. My 15-year-old, he tells the other ones, he's like, yo, don't make dad mad. Because once you get one that's right, he's going to straighten the other ones out. Mm-hmm. So it's just that thing of, in the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male. They have literally killed masculinity in our homes and our communities.
Ooh, a bar. They've killed it. Now, when I heard him say that, I said, oh, snap. You don't really hear people on his level of popularity and mainstream talk about stuff like this. The death of masculinity. Let's keep listening.
For one reason or another. But I raised my boys to be young men. And however you feel about that, you feel about that. Right. But my boys will always be respectful. They will always say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. They will always say thank you. They will always open the door for a lady. They will always make sure that their mother is taken care and provided for. They will always be men. And that's always since they were 2 years old. Every time I left for a job, I tell my 15-year-old, you're the man of the house.
All right. So that's enough of playing that. All right. Let me know what he said that was wrong. Let me know what he said that was negative or could be perceived as negative. What did he say wrong? And when he's saying that he's raising his boys to be men, respectful, protective, providers, honorable, all of that, right? He's saying that masculinity has been killed in America the last 20 years. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? That's what you have to ask yourself. And he didn't offend any community, anybody's sexuality, anything like that, because the first thing people are going to try to point at is, toxic masculinity. See, if I come out and just say that I am a male and I'm masculine, that's toxic to a certain community and this whole feminism movement that's going on, right? If I say I'm masculine, they see what kills me is that anybody who has a problem with this, right? Women, when you ask the average woman, what do they want in a man if they're single, right? They're going to say, I want him to be a protector, a provider, and a leader, right? That's a part of masculinity. That's a part of being masculine. But then in the same breath, if I criticize something for being feminized, if you're trying to feminize a man, you'll be looking at, okay, well, you got too much toxic masculinity. Well, which one is it? Because part of being masculine is being able to provide solutions, being that leader, the person that guides you and gives you direction. That's being masculine. See, being masculine ain't walking around all built and yelling at people. And if I don't get my way, I'm going to put my foot down and I beat on women. And that's not masculine. That's tapping into a feminine aspect because you're thinking with your emotions. Real men and masculine men don't think with their emotions. They have emotions, or we have emotions, but we lead. We're supposed to provide solutions. We're calm, cool, and collected. We look at situations, analyze it, and before we act on it, we look at everything. Then if it's time to turn up, we'll turn up, right? But we've seen in the last 20 years the buck breaking of men. I just saw Dwayne Wade. D Wade was on some show where he's talking about carrying around a purse. Okay, You know what I'm saying? And let me not even get started on him, but we've seen this, right? And I don't see anything wrong with him saying, I'm raising my son to be men, because you're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. How am I going to be able to raise a family if I'm not a masculine man? For any ladies that or feminists that have a problem with this, guess what? We all got here from heterosexual sex. We all got here from heterosexual sex, point blank. Now, he didn't go at anybody's sexuality. He didn't even bring up sexuality. He didn't say straight man. He said masculinity has been being attacked. So I don't see how anybody from a certain community or any type of community that has different lifestyles or whatever the case may be would have a problem in how he's raising his boys. Okay. And I'm trying to pinpoint like what people could be mad about. Like, he didn't attack femininity. He didn't attack none of that. Like, if you have a daughter, wouldn't you want them to be in the same area to date somebody like Anthony Mackie, who he's raising his sons to be? Masculine, being a provider. That's what all women say that they want. But you'll at the same time say something's too masculine or toxic masculinity or whatever the case may be. So I applaud Anthony Mackie for using that platform and his voice to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? From my understanding, they were in New Orleans at a restaurant. I'm not sure if he owned that restaurant or whatever, but I think that was dope for him to be, because think about this, man. He's made a blockbuster movie with Captain America. He's in Marvel, Disney. That's huge, right? You don't hear men talk about the feminization of men, the bug breaking, the masculinity that's been killed. You don't hear men in that realm of entertainment, that tier of entertainment, talk about stuff like that. Usually they try to stay away from politics, or if they do talk about it, they get bashed, you know. So anybody who has a problem with what Anthony Mackie said, first of all, I want you to point out any lie of him talking about the killing of the masculinity. Point out any negativity in what he actually said. What's the problem? Because if I have sons, I would raise them to be upfront, honorable, respectful men. He said, I want them to hold the door open for ladies. What is the problem with that? Are women I'm just trying to see who's having a problem with it. Are women that masculine? They have that much masculinity in them to where you don't want a man to have chivalry? You don't want a man to open any doors for you or anything like that? I just find that strange. So again, in the comment section, if you're somebody that disagrees with anything of what he said in the video that I just played, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know in the comments. For real, because I don't understand it. I don't understand that at all. And speaking of that, black actors, let's talk about this whole Jonathan Majors situation. Did y'all hear about what's going on with Jonathan Majors right now? Boy, oh boy, did y'all hear about what's going on with our brother, Jonathan Majors? So it says Jonathan Majors has admitted to strangling his ex-girlfriend in newly unearthed audio. I aggressed you, you strangled me and pushed me against the car. His ex said, he said, yes, all those things that are under aggress. Yeah. So we're going to take a moment to listen to this and see what he said. Okay. Now, I guess this was like a phone or somebody I don't know how this got released. So, but we're going to hear this. Listen to this.
I'm ashamed. I've never gone out. I never wrestled with a woman before. Man, it's just, I've never aggressed. I aggressed you. Like, you strangled me and pushed me against the car. All those things are under aggressed. Yeah. You know, like, that's never happened to me. So I because I said something sarcastically, if in your eyes. Clearly, it's more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good look for Jonathan Majors. Now he was found innocent from that situation that happened with his ex, like the car accident. I mean, not car accident, but the situation where she was saying that she got hands put on her in a car or whatever. So he was found innocent of that, or not guilty, right? But him admitting that he strangled her in this leaked audio, that's not going to help his career. We were just hearing rumors that he was about to get his role back in Marvel and all this other stuff. But now, since he has this leaked audio, man, oh man. And I've seen people in the comments like, this is who y'all were defending. This is, so man, I don't know, man. Like if he did, I don't condone putting hands on women. I do not condone putting hands on women. So this leaked audio, like he's admitting to it. I mean, you just got to suffer with the backlash that you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, man. But that's really not a good look because, here in the black community, we were sticking up for him saying, man, you got to stay away from the white women and all this other stuff. But if he's openly admitting to putting his hands on her in that leaked audio, I mean, that's just not a good look. That's just not a good look. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now, let's talk about Will Smith. Will Smith announced that he got a new album coming out. Will Smith announced that he has a new album coming out. Let me go to the Hollywood Reporter to show y'all this. Because Will Smith has been doing a lot of like freestyles and releasing songs and stuff. I know he released something with Big Sean recently. It says Will Smith announced his imminent release date for his first album in 20 years. It's been that long. Of course, they had to add in this. This is why I can't stand media. Sometimes they said the Oscar-winning actor who is still notorious for the slap is moving back to his roots in radio-friendly hip-hop. Blah, 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 blah. He said, it's official. My new album based on the true story. March 28th, 2 weeks. Hit that pre-save. Been working on this project for a minute, and I'm itching to get it out to y'all. All right. Now, you had some mixed reviews from that. A lot of people were saying, oh, he's old, and all this other stuff, man. Will Smith is like what, in his mid to late 50s at this point. And my thing is this: for anybody who is criticizing him for that slap, still, I know that he shouldn't have did that, and that's going to be with him for the rest of his career. It sucks, but it is what it is, right? He apologized, he's doing this thing. But for the people who are saying that he's too old or whatever the case may be, man, y'all got to get off of that. Only in our culture do we say somebody's too old for something. If Rolling Stones or Mick Jagger or anybody puts out an album, and they could be old in their 70s, which some of them are in their 70s, you're not going to hear, oh, they're too old. Will Smith is a legendary rapper. He was a rapper before he was a legend. Now he's known more for his movie roles. I get it. But we have to get out of this whole thing of somebody's too old to do something. Because if it's banging, it's banging. He's made hit records before. And does he need to still make music? No. I mean, he's made hit. He just had a hit movie with Bad Boys that came out last year, Bad Boys 4. So he wants to, display his lyrical ability at 50 plus years old. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. That's how he got into this game. And at his leisure, this is what he wants to do. So I applaud people who still have that itch in them to make some music. In hip hop, we always like to outcast our OGs and our legends and call them old and stuff like that. They don't do that in other genres and they don't do that in other cultures. And I don't think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can make adult contemporary hip hop. So if he can make some blazing records and, banging records, whatever, shout out to Will Smith. Shout out to Will Smith. Now, let me talk about this. I got a couple of more topics before we wrap this up. So Tank appeared on The Breakfast Club, R&B, world-renowned R&B writer, producer, singer, and podcaster. Tank. He has the R&B Money podcast with Jay Valentine. So Tank was talking about on 106 & Park that he's creating the R&B Awards. He's talking about doing an R&B Awards. And when I heard him thoroughly explain it, I was talking to one of my homeboys, shout out to Coop the Trill, and we were both saying that this could save the genre of R&B. And I'm not saying R&B is dying. I'm just saying that when Tank was talking about it, he was talking about different categories that people could win. Soulful singers, or the type of music that Drake just put out with Party Next Door. There's a lane for that. You have different elements of R&B. Neo soul. People still do neo soul? I know they do trap soul. You got different forms of R&B that's out there. And if you have a award show that's catered towards that could give R&B, up and coming R&B artists more fuel to want to be in the genre, because nowadays a lot of R&B artists want to be rappers, right? But if you got these award shows that's strictly for R&B, because he said the hip hop awards, we do have our own hip hop awards, right? We got the BET hip hop awards. We used to have the Source Awards, different things like that. We support our own in hip hop. Now there's a gap. There is a gap between OGs and YNs, right? But for the most part, we will salute our legends. R&B to a certain degree, yeah, but having a pure R&B awards, like you got up and coming R&B artists that can finally get some shine and not have to share with rap, because what they like to do on the Billboard charts is what? Top urban R&B / hip hop. That's basically saying black folks who make music, right? So this will be a dope situation if Tank can do this. He said something about naming the awards after like if it's a songwriter award, name it after Smokey Robinson. Like a Michael Jackson award, that's going to be, that's going to be a given. But you got to think about how many R&B artists could get highlighted from this, and how many R&B artists can be recognized and discovered for this. Those R&B artists and acts that go on the road to this day, like the Drew Hills, the Jagged Edges, and stuff like that, like people like that, right? You can say, the New Jack Swing Award or whatever the case may be. That can make people want to create different genres within the R&B genre. Well, I ain't gonna say different genres, but different categories within the R&B genre. So this could really help out the genre altogether, and I'm all for it. I want to see it coming to fruition. Charlamagne was talking about he was going to help him craft this, so that'll be very, very interesting to see, and that's a win for R&B. So shout out to Tank for doing that. Now, one last thing I want to talk about. Shout out to all my redheads that are in here right now. I want to talk about this. This was a topic of discussion last week or the week before. Who had the best verse on Notorious Thugs? Where are my Notorious B.I.G. fans? Where are my Bone Thugs and Harmony fans? Where are my Stevie J fans? Because he produced the record. I want to know. Let me know right now who had the best verse on Notorious Thugs. The reason that I'm asking this is because one of these, I think, according to hip hop, they made a post about Notorious Thugs, and I think it probably came from people that didn't know that Stevie J actually produced that song, and they saw it on Vlad TV, and they decided to make the poll like who had the best verse. So I took the poll on my channel, and people on my channel pretty much agree with me. Let's look at this. So Biggie, there was 4 verses. Biggie had the first verse, he got 27%. Bizzy Bone had the second verse, 60%. Crazy Bone had the third verse, he's at 10%. Lazy is at 3%. That's messed up because Lazy's verse is dope. All verses are good, but in my opinion, I say Bizzy Bone. Now, let's talk about this. The reason that people automatically will say Biggie out-rap Bone on the song is simply because Biggie did their I ain't even gonna say their style all the way. He just rap fast on there, which you could say Bone got Biggie to rap fast. Now, was he harmonizing like Bone on there? No. All right. But I hate when people say that he out-rapped them. No. He had a standout verse, but it's the fact that he was able to do Bone style on there. It's the fact that he was able to switch it up and rap fast. Like I can adjust. He was like a chameleon. If I can master this, I can do anything. But it wasn't like he out-rapped them. So let's throw that out the window. He didn't out-rap Bone. Lazy, Crazy, and Busy ate that. They did it in their own style. Now, he did have one of the best verses and most memorable because, for one, you could understand everything that he was saying. And then for two, he had more standout parts, so-called beef with who, fucked a few female stars or two, you know what I'm saying? You should too if you knew what the game would do to you. Been in shit since 92. Look at all the bullshit. He had all that going on. He had a lot of his lyrics did stick out. However, when you're talking about the best verse lyrically overall, Busy. Have y'all heard Busy's? You hear his delivery, but did you listen to what he said? Did you know he dissed 3 6 Mafia on there? Did you know that? 7 a.m. up in the morning with Henny, caffeine, and green and nicotine. For the people that's gonna say Biggie, that's gonna say Biggie. Let's do some comparing, okay? Everybody knows Biggie's lyrics, but let me show you how lyrical Busy was in the song Notorious Thugs. Okay, let's look at Busy's lyricism in it. To just fully forget the rapping fast, let's look at Busy's lyrics. Okay, let's look at Busy's lyrics. That man said, let me highlight this so y'all can see it. He said 7 a.m. woke in the morning with hen and caffeine and green and nicotine. No dose, so pop a couple of those little ripster. Nigga, Mr. Clean. Make it gleam deep in my temple and not to get sentimentally steamed with my instrumentality and heated especially for your team. And a 45 indeed will beam in between the scenes, destroy your dreams. You willing to die? We'll see. How many flee when I cause the scene? We mean mug, mo thugs, train to be perfect. Disciples when it's survival. Tongue is a double-edged sword. Triple 6 rivals spitting fire. That's the real truth, bitch. Breaking out for lies. My messiahs. Better get ready for Armageddon. Shit's expired. It's wild. Bless the child, the one that became a man, put in position off in the clear. That's St. Clair. All that I had to do was stare. Test me now, contender. Never, no surrender, no pretend. Pick up my pen in my hand. One of my trusted friend. Open the last seal for real. We all suited. Beg my pardon to Martin, baby. We ain't marching, we shooting. In daily recruiting, there's a thug born every day in the ghetto. We start them off little and get in the bottle, then the pen and a pad, hit the label and kick it. That's lyrics. Those are lyrics. Lyricism. He killed that. He ate it and his delivery. And from my understanding, Busy said he did all that in one take. Now, like I said, Busy, armed and dangerous. Ain't too many can bang with us. Straight up, we no angel us. Label us notorious. Notorious. Thug ass niggas that love the bus is stranger us. Y'all niggas be scrambling, gambling. Dope. I ain't taking nothing away from them. But y'all also need to put some respect on Lazy's name. Lazy killed it at the end with the double harmony and stuff like that. Lazy went in at the end. You know, now Crazy's verse was smooth, but that was an old verse that he had. And the reason on Spit Your Game, he went in on that verse, 8 twist up, by the way. He had the best verse on that song, is because he said that he didn't feel like he tapped into his full potential on the Notorious Thugs song. And you could hear by the way he was rapping, it's like he already had those lyrics from another song. He said, I'll just throw this on there. You know, Crazy was being lazy, but it still was a dope verse nonetheless. But don't say that Biggie out-rapped them. Style-wise, they overdid him. He sounded like a beginner. It's just that his lyrics did stick out, and I'm not taking it away. But for y'all who saying Biggie had the best verse, nah, Busy had the best verse. 7 a.m. up in the morning with Henny, caffeine, and green and nicotine. Come on, man. Beg my pardon to Martin, baby. We ain't marching, we shooting. Come on, bro. Like he went in, but it was super lyrical, but Busy killed it. And it wasn't just like he was like he went in and just was yelling, rapping. He ate it. So like I said, I say Busy, and the Res View community, y'all agree with me as well. Let's look at that poll again, just for clarity. Look, and I told CJ this. Shout out to CJ. We got a special announcement coming soon. But 270 votes said Busy had the best verse, and I agree. But y'all need to put some respect on Lazy's name for real. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Shout out to the heart, whoever hearted that on Facebook. Hit the share button, hit the like, subscribe to the channel, which is youtube.com/ResView. We're just a few subs away from 3K. So make sure that you do that and tune in. Usually I go live on Tuesdays, but I wanted to get this out the way today because this Drake lawsuit thing was crazy. But shout out to everybody that's been tuning in, paying attention, man. We had a great show, great discussion. Shout out to my chat group. A lot of y'all weren't in the chat group today. I guess this daylight savings time is throwing everybody off. But give me a holler if you in there. Shout out to the replay gang. Y'all will be seeing the replay gang and everything a little later. But shout out to everybody for checking out ResView, tuning in with me. I will be posting some of these clips up. I'll see you all on the next episode of ResView. Also, before I get out of here, follow me on all social media platforms. That's my Instagram, IG, TikTok and Twitter handle at JAYR3D. Check me out. And this is J Red Resview, and I'm signing out. Peace.